What up, everybody? The picture I have on the screen is from OG Power Season 4, Episode 4, the episode when Tariq met Destiny. And on the screen, you can see Kanan, Ray Ray, Brains, and a mystery character with little significance at the time who we didn't know the name of. Flash forward to Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1, and we found out that this character was none other than Monet Tejada's close friend, security guard, and top soldier named Al. As you can see Monet and Al on the screen together here, meeting up with Rico. And here's a clear picture of Al, played by actor Preston Christopher Lawrence, on the screen with Tariq, right before he met Destiny, hanging out with Kanan at Breeze's old apartment in Queens. Keep it in mind that the Tejadas were also from Queens. And this gives us a concrete connection between Kanan Stark and Monet Tejada. And ever since the beginning of Power Book 2, Cain has drawn comparisons to Kanan, and there's been a lot of rumors going around that Kanan was Cain's real father. But before this, there was actually no way to connect Monet to Kanan. So it was just pure speculation, but now we have Al as the piece that could connect Monet to Kanan. Al looks like he's around the same age as Kanan, and notice he was in Kanan's inner circle the episode he was on in Power. And the others who was in Kanan's inner circle was everyone who was involved in the robbery earlier in the episode. Tariq, Brains, and Ray Ray. So this lets us know that Kanan felt like he could trust Al, either though Al wasn't involved in the robbery. So I think Al was most likely from Queens, and Kanan knew Al from before he got locked up, and the two were likely friends at one point. Al was also trusted closely by Monet Tejada. Al was involved in the murder of Frank Castillo, and also Rico and his security guard. The fact that Monet was letting her kids put in work with Al also lets us know that they likely have known each other for a long time, likely since they were younger. At one point in time, I actually thought Al might have been related to the Tejadas. But Monet did keep Al out of a lot of details about her business. For some reason, she didn't call Al for backup when DC Joe was delivering the product. Either Cain was going to show up and help Monet, or she was just going to handle it on her own. So Al likely never knew that Monet was doing business with Tariq, because I don't think that the two were ever on screen together in Book 2. Because if they did see each other, they likely would have recognized each other from when they met at Breeze's apartment. Getting me to Kanan being Cain's real father. I think a lot of people think there's a chance that Monet had 4 kids with 4 different men, and the only child that was actually Lorenzo's is Drew. Keep it in mind that it's already been proven that Monet wasn't faithful to Lorenzo because in Season 1 she was having an affair with Detective Ramirez. Also leaving the question now that we know that Al knew Ray Ray, did Ramirez know Ray Ray, being that they were both dirty cops? But I think it went down something like this. Around 1998, soon after Monet went down south to have Zeke, she returned home to New York and moved to Queens to get a fresh start. Sometime real soon after this, she then met Lorenzo and the two started dating. But not long after that, Monet met Kanan through their mutual friend Al. So Kanan and Monet started smashing. Soon after that, Monet got pregnant. But she was stuck at a crossroad because she knew it was Kanan's child. So she either had to lie and tell Lorenzo it was his child, knowing that he would be so excited and ask her to marry him and all that. But if she told the truth and said it was Kanan's child, Lorenzo would break up with her, and while Kanan might be in his child's life, he was not going to commit to her. Because Monet knew that Kanan was a player for life, and that he already had at least one child at the time, Sean, whose mother was Jarita, and possibly a second child with Crystal if she keeps the baby and doesn't lose it. Because right now on the Kanan timeline, she is pregnant around 1993. Because of that, Monet made the choice to lie to Lorenzo and say that Cain was his son, and then she stopped talking to Kanan altogether. Then one day Kanan asked Al what happened to Shawty with the red hair, Monet. And Al told Kanan that she was pregnant with her boyfriend Lorenzo's child. And Kanan never thought twice about her after that. I wonder if Al actually had a feeling that Cain was Kanan's child though, being around both of them. Because just based off the eye test, does Cain look more like Drew, or does he look more like Sean, Kanan's other son? And to me, the answer is obviously Sean. Another clue right in front of our faces this whole time. But the eye test is the reason a lot of people doubted that Cain is Lorenzo's son to begin with. And I think there's a good chance that either though Lorenzo completely accepted Cain as his son, that subconsciously, deep down, Lorenzo knew that Cain wasn't actually his child. Keep in mind how gullible Lorenzo actually is. That he actually believed that he was Monet's first when the girl already had an entire child by another man. Lorenzo was so in love with Mo, she could have told that man anything. Going back to season 1 of book 2, how Lorenzo insisted that it would be Drew that would take over the family business and not Cain. And to me, this made no kind of sense unless, like I said, Lorenzo subconsciously knew Cain wasn't his son. Because even if Drew is smarter or more control or whatever reason Lorenzo was trying to use, Drew didn't want to be in the life to begin with, while Cain already had a reputation in the streets. It's like Vito Corleone didn't try to put Michael over Sonny just because he knew Michael was smarter and Sonny was a hothead. So why would Lorenzo do this other than because he wanted his real son to run his family business? Not to mention how Lorenzo had Cain beat down and told him to never lay his hands on his wife again. And ironically enough, if this theory is indeed true, history is actually repeating itself. Because Cain's father Kanan was also lied to about who his real father was, being told it was DEFCON, only to find out that Malcolm Howard was his real father. So we'd have the parallel of Kanan and Cain, both being lied to about who their real fathers were. Both their mothers, Rock and Monet, were queen pins, and there's even the fact that they've both shot it out with the police. Then there's the name Kanan and Cain, when Cain's real name was supposed to be Lorenzo Jr. So I think Monet came up with the nickname Hurricane so she could call him Cain for short after his real father Kanan, because she couldn't stand calling him Lorenzo Jr. after a man that wasn't even his real father. So the big question is, will this ever be revealed now that Monet is dead? And I do think it will be revealed in Power Book Origins Season 2 or 3. I think Season 1 is supposed to start in 1996. So Season 2 or 3 would likely be around 1998 when Kanan meets Monet. Because I think the credit scene from OG Power with young James, Tommy, and Angela will be the start of Power Book Origins, either though the actors will probably be different. But the timeline of that scene was 1996. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.